Imagine getting paid just for sharing your thoughts on products and services you use every day. With Survey Junkie, it's that simple. Click on the link in the video description to discover how you can start earning today by taking surveys.
The woman who survived a 3,000-foot fall after her cheating husband tried to kill her by tampering with her parachute has revealed he had tried to kill her weeks earlier by telling her to check the stove during a gas leak. Amazingly, Victoria Cilliers survived her fall with just a shattered pelvis, broken spine and internal injuries after her then-husband Emile Cilliers sent her crashing to earth. Emile Cilliers was convicted and sentenced to life in prison with a minimum term of 18 years for the plot in which he hoped to pay off his rising debts by collecting Victoria's £120,000 life insurance. Cilliers had first tried to kill Victoria by turning on the gas tap at the family home in Wiltshire in the hope of blowing up Vicky, while also recklessly endangering the lives of their baby son and young daughter who were with her at the time. Speaking in a new 3-part Channel 4 documentary series into the events and subsequent trials, Victoria said her ex-husband's cruelty in plotting the gas tap leak defied belief. Speaking on the program, Victoria said, "The thought that someone you'd married and just had children with would be that cruel to both me and the children defied belief." Victoria's survival from the fall was a miracle. She fractured almost all her ribs in the fall, her pelvis was broken and her right lung collapsed. Her slight build and the softness of the newly plowed field that broke her fall saved her life. But it took several years for Victoria to accept that her husband, whom she knew to be an inveterate cheat and philanderer, was also guilty of trying to kill her. In fact, it was not until the judge at Cilliers' trial called him a person of quite exceptional callousness who will stop at nothing to satisfy his own desires, material or otherwise, that the truth began to impinge on Victoria. The charming man she had married was, in fact, an evil psychopath who had devised an elaborate plot to be shot of her so he could pocket her £120,000 life insurance policy and begin a new life with a lover. Cilliers, who still maintains his innocence and has not shown a scintilla of remorse, was sentenced to life imprisonment in 2018. He will serve at least 18 years. Victoria, who gives her first in-depth TV interview in the new program alongside reconstructions of the events. In the fall, skydive murder plot, actors play Victoria Cilliers and investigating officers Detective Inspector Paul Franklin and Detective Constable Maddie Henna of Wiltshire Police, whose work would bring military PT instructor Cilliers to justice. Using police transcripts, they recreate key scenes from the couple's marriage, the horror jump at Netheravon Airfield in Wiltshire, and the 2 court cases that followed. The real officers speak on camera too, and we also see the actual moment when investigators at the skydiving club, filming themselves as they examine Victoria's parachute, realize they might have a would-be murderer in their midst. Victoria, now recovered from a shattered pelvis, broken spine and internal injuries, appears alongside 2 other women with illuminating experiences of Cilliers. One is DC Henna and the other his previous partner, the mother of his 2 oldest children, Nicolene Shepherd. They make a fascinating sorority, the woman he dumped, the woman he tried to kill, and the one he expected to hoodwink. DC Henna reveals Cilliers tried to flirt with her during a police interview, and was considered so dangerously manipulative she was not allowed to be alone with him from that point. "He clearly was trying to win me over and use his charms on me. He did not come across as your typical chap who is going to chase you down the road with a machete, but he was very subtly sinister." As for Nicolene, she became his girlfriend when she was 13 and he was 16, in their native South Africa. She gave birth to his first child aged 16 and he left for the UK when she was expecting their second. His mother later told her he'd settled here, and married another woman. Years later, when Nicolene moved to the UK herself, Cilliers came after her like a heat-seeking missile. "It felt like we'd never been apart, like I was a kid again," says Nicolene, now a married mother of 5. "I thought it may have come full circle, we've had ups and downs and then ended up together." Except that Cilliers was still with his first wife, the woman for whom he'd abandoned.